to another episode of Latin Explaining. My name is Denise Gonzalez for those who do not know who I am. And for those who have forgotten because I have been so absent, welcome again, guys. I want to give a huge shout out to people listening not only on the live show, live here with me, but also the ones that are catching the replay. If you're watching this on the replay, please hit that like button. Also, subscribe if you have not done so. And to the people that are listening to me through Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, thank you very much, guys. I know there's people from even places I would have never thought will listen to my content. So, all the people that are listening to me from the US, of course, Russia, Germany, Ireland, Australia, the UK, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. I feel so overwhelmed by being able to also be broadcasted not only in your homes but in your devices as well. I see that MK, Jose, and Johnny Mills already started the shot. Guys, let me know if you can hear me properly. I'm having a little bit of background noise today, so I am sorry if you hear something. I apologize in advance. But I'm going to try my best to not have any noise. But let me know, guys, if you can hear me properly. If you can't, then also let me know. Put a number one if you can hear me right. If you cannot, then put a number two. Now, oh, perfectly. I see that MK says is good. Well, guys, like I said, it's been a long time coming, but I know many people want to listen to my perspective. And trust me, I am going to definitely go in today. Okay, thank you guys for letting me know. No, Jose, I'm not having a senior moment because as you can see, my audio is proper. My modem is now from when Tupac was alive. Actually, as a matter of fact, today we got a new system. So, guys, learn that from Jose, which is our senior citizen out here in this YouTube corner. That if your modem is from back from when Tupac and Biggie were alive, it's time to change that modem. Okay, don't wait until the last minute and then you can't watch Latin explaining properly because your internet doesn't work right. Okay. So, guys, Latin explainers all around the world, welcome once again. It's nice to be back here. I know a lot of things have happened in the last few weeks. I'm going to make, and I know we have Kevin Samuels passing away fatigue because everybody jumped on this from every side of the spectrum. I did a video 4 months ago on my perspective on Kevin Samuels. And as you guys know, because I've said this many times, this man helped me personally, see from his perspective, like a lot of things that I was doing wrong. And I think also he gave me a new appreciation for something that I think everybody needs, which is therapy. And it saddened me so much to actually see that he passed and the way that he did, you know. But I'm not going to talk too much about it right now. I did a part one of Kevin Samuels. If you have not watched it, once I'm finished here, I'm going to link that show down below. It's called The Last Samurai. So make sure that if you have not watched that show in particular, like you wait till the end. I'm gonna link it down below in the description so you can go and watch what I said 4 months ago. And I'm gonna do a part two tomorrow on The Last Samurai part two. And it's gonna be a tribute, my personal tribute to Mr. Kevin Samuels and the impact that he had in my life. And I know a lot of people's lives, but I'm gonna speak about the impact that he had in my life. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you tune in tomorrow. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be talking about everything. But today, this week, I think we're going to talk so much about women, our rights, what's happening. We have so much to cover, guys. So bear with me. I'm going to be talking a lot. If you enjoy what I do and my talking points, then get the popcorn. If you are in the UK, then I don't know, get is it in the UK that they have that? What's the name of it? The pretzel strudel or something like that. I think it's not the UK, but I think in the UK you guys also eat it too. It's just like a waffle cookie filled with caramel and stuff. That tastes so good. But anyway, we didn't came here to talk about food. Talk about food, guys. Like I said, make sure. Like I see more people coming in. Make sure that you uh like this video and also subscribe if you have not done so. Now I know that I'm gonna say something real quick. I know that many people that are watching are hate watching. I understand that. I see that MK put the link to that video on the chat. But in all honesty, there's a lot of people hate watching out here. Shout out to y'all too, because I know that I'm based on what I do today. You guys finally now you're going to go back to have some content for your viewers. So welcome, guys. Thank you for your support. And yes, you're more than free to collect and write down some notes so you can repeat what I said from your perspective and create some fake content. Now we're gonna start talking about this whole woman thing. It feels like it's March, but it's not. And I think that WTF, moment of this week, it's Mia Khalifa. For people that don't know who Mia Khalifa is a former Pornhub number one porn star or performer. Let's just call her that, right? Uh, and she was famous for things that you never will want your daughter to be famous for. Okay, for those who understand what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the porn industry. And like I said, I learned from who Mia Khalifa was, in all honesty, because she's dating Puerto Rican rapper Jay Cortez, which started last year. I did not know who this lady was till last year. But Mia Khalifa is rebranding herself as she moves now to the social media platform TikTok, where her demographic is mostly women, and the same crowd inspired her to open a non explicit OnlyFans because, according to her, there's ethical and non ethical ways of doing pornography, which is something that she learned from her women's public now. Mia Khalifa's statement also targeted her previous demographic, which she says is not who she wants to entertain anymore, which are straight men. And she said in her comments for the Bustle article the interview that she did for them, she's in the midst of restarting her career by transitioning away from the demographic that has controlled her trajectory for so long, straight men. So, hold on one second, guys. Okay. So she said, I'm growing as a woman and I want to grow with other women. She also said on TikTok, the woman briefly known as Pornhub's number one performer is amassing a more supportive, more female fan base. Creeps and jerks will be blocked. So I don't know if you guys agree with Mia Khalifa. Like, Mia Khalifa has been trying. Hey, what's up, Rakim? It's nice to have you here. But Mia Khalifa is trying so hard to wash away the stench of her pornographic career away. And now she resorted, when nothing else worked, she resorted to basically insult the demographic that she catch many checks from by basically calling them, you know, jerks and creeps. Hey, Ramon, what's up? He says straight men made her famous. Social ingrata. Basically, that's ungrateful. Oh my God, Ramon. After straight men made her rich, man, I see that MK says she's delusional if she thinks she's going to get the same amount of money from females that she did males. Well, I guess that's only an answer that males can say. But in all honesty, I mean, you never know, because the concept, and I'm going to freely say this as a woman, right? The concept that women do not consume porn is a lie. Women consume porn just as much. My thing is, I don't see women spending their money on other women. I see women spending their money on men. And why I mean by that? Well, how many times have you seen a woman wanting to see women porn? That is not, or paying for an OnlyFans of a woman. Like, I've seen women don't pay for pornography. I've yet to met a single woman that wants to pay for pornography. That is so weird to me. But in all honesty, Mia Khalifa wants to do hey Ramon, Mia Khalifa wants to do basically turn herself into the second Kim K, because she's talking about becoming an influencer. And the problem that I have with this is very simple, like, joking aside. The problem that I have with this is that if we keep, and I blame myself, yeah, I shouldn't have talked about Mia Khalifa, but I have to bring this up. And this is the only time I'm going to talk about this woman. Um, the problem with the Mia Khalifas of the world is that it's the same thing that happened with Kim K. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, Kim K's explicit sexual video, her sex tape with Ray J, came out. And during that time, we had uh Paris Hilton, releasing One Night in Paris and stuff like that. And she had a reality show, and everybody wanted to have a damn chihuahua and stuff like that. So we were all very much influenced by these people, because they presented a lifestyle of, you can do the nastiest things and show yourself barely naked out there, degrade yourself in every way, and share something that should only be shared with people you're intimate with the world, for profit, and then have a career and demand to be respected. And I don't say respected as in, like, respect a human being. Of course, everybody needs to be respected, because that talks about us. But what I mean by that is, like, getting the same treatment as a woman that has never done those things. That's not going to happen. People are going to have a perception of who you are. We are going to respect you as a woman, but we're not going to consider you for a position to give you a crown, because you, first of all, you don't represent the majority of women. Second of all, I don't think it's right that, that's what you're selling. And third, that's not a role model that we should perpetuate. You get my, I don't know if you guys get my point. I see that MK says it's not that women don't watch porn, but to the extent some of these guys do it, and even close, or maybe it is. No, I don't think it is. I don't think it. I think guys do it way more, of course, and they're willing to invest their coin in that. And it says Introverico says, "What's going on, MK? It's all good here, considering." Yeah, of course. But going back to the Mia Khalifa situation, I see that this is the modern Xennial. Instead, because the millennials, we have Kim K. That is our queen, regardless of you love her or hate her. Personally, I've watched all her show. I find her show hilarious, and I watch it because I love, especially in the latest seasons, I've always loved their interior design. And it's super funny to me to see how they do this PR nightmares and then solve it inside the show. That dynamic to me is very entertaining. So I see that the same thing now, it's happening with Mia Khalifa in, some sort of way. They're trying to sell us this disgusting lifestyle, to sell the ladies that they can actually be like this, because it's not that she's being promiscuous. That if that was the case, then so be it. We'll give you the crown, because a lot of women out there are not virgins. But what we're talking about is, like, you're a straight out woman that filmed herself as a profession, taking dicks up the ass everywhere, and doing the most intimate things, brutal things. You were the number one porn star for so long of a website that's notorious. And then now we should promote you as someone that can influence other women. The women that you're going to influence are women that are younger than you. And so that's the lifestyle that we want to promote to women today. This is the role model that we want to promote today. Not the lawyer, not the doctor, not the nurse, not the psychiatrist, not the engineer, not the microbiologist. We want to promote, you know, Mia Khalifa, the porn star that allowed different random men to do sexual acts on her for money. And then now she's going to tell us, she's going to influence our lives for profit. Uh, in my opinion, this is problematic, but I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about this whole Mia Khalifa nonsense? I think this is disgusting to me. I am so tired of society getting nastier and nastier and normalizing things that should never be normalized. I'm not saying that we should not respect porn stars. Absolutely. We should respect them. They are still a needed part in the ecosystem. Now, they don't deserve the queen status because they're not queens. Now, MK is saying the problem is every woman saw Kim K do it, and now they all think they can do it. The person behind Kim had a plan. She really doesn't. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think she's trying so hard. She's trying so hard to, to do these things. And speaking of, women getting out of control, stuff happening regarding women rights, I think something that, and that's what we're going to talk about today and tomorrow. There's a lot of things happening for women during this month. And speaking of that, I think it's time for us to start reading the culture and the law, because more and more politicians are literally coming for modern women today. And speaking of that, I want to refer to a legislator for the Dignity Project Party in Puerto Rico. Okay, she has made a pass at women that dress provocatively to go out at night and ask women to take some sense of responsibility for their results. And I'm going to read you guys what she says. It says, PD representative says women should moderate how they dress to avoid street harassment. And she said, we really have to know that there is some kind of responsibility with us women. We cannot blame it all on a man going out. We also have to take care of ourselves. And she basically continued talking about this. And to be honest with you, I agree and disagree with her. I had the opportunity to hear everything she had to say. She basically she said some things that to me were kind of disturbing, but at the same time, I think many of the things that she said, I agree with. And I'm going to explain why. A lot of women are focusing on the fact that she said that, oh, that we're to blame if a man harasses us if we are showing our asses or our tits or whatever out. And that's not what she said. She literally said there's like a shared responsibility. And I'm going to explain why. If you were to be in the UK, where systems have not failed to the level they have failed in Puerto Rico or Canada, then I would say yes, like do what you want, nobody cares, show your tits, go out naked if you want to. If you were to have a license to carry and you will go to the shooting range every week to make sure that you know your skills and you carry your weapon with you every time that you look like that, then I would say, yeah, go out naked if you desire to. My problem is this. We focus so much on what this senator said. However, I don't know if these ladies are aware that in Puerto Rico after 2017, before 2017, there were 17,000 police officers on the island for 3 million people. After 2017 and the oversight board cutting down their overtime, taking their pension, and not putting any money into the department to the point that police officers have expired bulletproof vests. Half of the patrol cars don't work. They barely have any equipment. We don't remember the last time that they got proper training. In reality, we have now 8,900 cops. So 9,000 police officers resigned. We don't even have half of the force employed anymore for the same amount of people. So that means that you live in a lawless island. And what basically these ladies are getting pissed at this woman that's basically telling us, You got to do your part in order to help with this whole crisis, because I'm not going to take away from the fact that, yes, you have out there predatory men, you have out there sick men, you have out there men that are like assaulters, and we cannot use the metrics of good men, decent men, respectable men, gentlemen. We cannot judge every man out there as a gentleman. And I understand that a lot of the men are like, well, I'm going to give it to the woman because I will never cross the line. You're seeing life from your perspective. You, as a gentleman, the majority of men actually will never cross the line with a woman. But in reality, there are predatory men out there, and we don't have enough cops. And if you don't want to do your part, what basically you're saying is, I'm going to put at risk a kid that could be possibly being physically or sexually abused at this same moment. I'm going to, because there's a state of emergency, so the priority is on the woman. So the police are not going to go to protect that kid at that time, because they have to come to the club to protect me because I'm showing my tits and somebody is harassing me. So F the kid. The police officer is not going to go to attend the domestic violence cases happening right now with a woman that was married to an abusive dude because I decided to show my tits with no system in place to protect myself, no investment on myself. So F that woman, and then I'm going to be the priority. And we can continue the list of how many crimes are going to be needed to be postponed because we have to protect people that won't protect themselves. So I ask again, are you really, do you really care for public safety? Are you really that selfish that your quote unquote freedoms come or are more important than public safety? Are your rights more important than everybody else's rights? And that is my problem with these feminists and all these women that are like out there saying, oh, like, this woman don't know what she's talking about. Like, we should dress however we want. No, you can dress however you want, but you have to understand, this is a free country. You can dress however you want. As a matter of fact, you can go out naked if you want to and have a few leaves covering your crack and whatever, and just go out. Just know that you're more at risk of something. It's kind of like what I was having a discussion with a lady on Twitter. Yes, she's like, oh, like, then if you crash your vehicle, then it's your fault because you should have known that driving a vehicle could possibly, you could possibly run into a crash. And I'm like, exactly, yeah, I know that. That's on me, which is why we acquire auto insurance. Okay, so what kind of insurance women that want to dress with everything out are acquiring in order to protect themselves? Because like I said, if you say, okay, I am going to go out with my ass out and my tits and my nipples out, but I have a 9mm in my purse and I know how to use it and I have the license to carry that, then honey, so be it. By all means, go ahead and do so, because you have a way to protect yourself, because you're taking measurements and you understand the culture. You get my point? But then people don't understand that. I see that Introvert Boricua says she was complaining in a problem that she didn't own the website that has all her videos. Not just, oh, that was Mia Khalifa, huh? I see that MK says, be careful before you get labeled male identifier. Yeah, I've been called many things. I see that Uncommon Sense Senator says, women who dress modestly can be harassed by men. Absolutely. But my thing is, if you dress modestly versus the women, if you're walking down the street and you have a turtleneck and some pants, and the woman that's next to you has hot pants with the lower part of her behind out and a top with half her boobs out, who's going more likely to get harassed on the street? You with your turtleneck and your pants, or the lady with the booty shorts? If you think Let me know in the comment section, who's more likely to be harassed by men on the street? The lady with the booty shorts or the lady with the turtleneck and the pants? And I'm gonna wait for that response, because that's common sense. So she's not saying all of the responsibility resides with us women. She's just saying some of it we can mitigate, you know? We can mitigate the harassment or putting yourself in the line of danger if you do that. I see that MK says the one with the booty shorts. Yeah, absolutely. That's a no-brainer. The lady with the booty shorts, she's putting herself in a position of danger immediately. You're adding a layer of danger, and if you're adding that layer of danger, I have no problem with that. But then there's one thing that's called the Second Amendment. Where's your weapon to protect yourself? Because you can be scared of being harassed, but at the same time want to live free. I see that Jose says the one with the booty shorts. Absolutely. You can't have it both ways. Johnny Mills, booty shorts. Absolutely. These are men that are commenting this. I'm not making this up. But then if you tell this to these neo-feminists and all these far left crazy modern ladies, they'll eat you alive, because they can't seem to take any kind of responsibility when it comes to the shit that happens to them. I see that Rakim says the lady with the turtleneck and the pants, because who in the hell wears a turtleneck in summertime? That was hilarious. Oh my God, that was hilarious. But it is true. I'm like, at this point, like, I'm telling you, this is something that it's so ridiculous to me that we're living in times where you cannot place the responsibility on women for their own safety. You can't place the responsibility on women for their own freaking safety. And that, folks, is very, 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 very scary. And I don't know if you guys are scared of that, but I am. I am. I am super scared, because the times that we're living on seem to me, it seemed to me that people are not taking into consideration that all the things that they do have consequences, and the consequences cost us a lot of money. And it seems to me like these ladies are not understanding that we can no longer afford to grant them this outrageous rights. Because, okay, what are we going to do if you go out in public dressed like a slut? I'm not saying they're a slut, okay? So before, but let's say you go out dressed like one, or you go out dressed freely. Let's just say that free spirited. You go out dressed free spirited, and something happens to you. How do you propose we ensure you 100%, and to your mother, your father, your family? How do you guys, and this is a question for the ladies that will watch this on the replay, or the ladies that always like to come for women and men that think like me. If you have a problem with what we are worried about, then we need an answer. How do you propose that we take care of your safety to guarantee you almost 100% that you will make it home untouched, unattacked, and safe? If we allow you to dictate the solution, what the solution will be, and remember, that solution cannot infringe the constitutional rights of men. So that's the question that I'm opening up for the ladies when it comes to its regards in this, because There's nothing else we can do other than force y'all to exercise your Second Amendment. You want to dress out like a free spirited lady? Fine. Then you're going to be forced to carry a fucking weapon and know how to freaking use it. And if you misuse it, then we'll prosecute you. Because you have to have some sense of responsibility so you understand what you're dealing with. Jesus Christ. I see that Inter Boricua says this lady got mad criticism, including from Alexandra Lugaro, which is disappointing. Absolutely. I see that Johnny Mills says, unless you're Amber Rose, and Intro Boricua says, and in Puerto Rico, it's summer all the time, so there goes the turtleneck. Oh my God, come on, Ramon. There's air conditioner. Come on, Ramon. But ladies, going back to what I was saying, how do you plan in a lawless island with only 8,900 police officers for 3 million people, a domestic violence crisis, a crime crisis, a drug war crisis, with only 8,900 cops without proper equipment? How do you expect to be protected? What is your solution? That's what we want. We want freaking answers. Because if that's the case, then we should not grant these people any type of security. Dress however you want to and be on the freaking news the next day. That's it. We're giving you recommendations. You don't want to take them. Salute. See you in the next life. Because and I know it sounds harsh, but come on. That's literally what's up. But guys, like I said, you guys let me know if this is something that it's not signaling, because this is not something that's coming from me. This is something that's coming from our lawmakers. I see that Jose says, so the police in Puerto Rico are set up to fail. It makes no sense. Absolutely. The oversight board, and this has been part of the news for years, the oversight board took their pensions. Our cops are going to retire on a $500 a month stipend. That's what's going to happen. They're going to receive 1.8% of their salary as a pension. The rest of their pension is going to pay the national debt. The same thing that happened with teachers. And they decided after Hurricane Maria, they were not going to pay them their overtime. So the half of the force quit. Just quit. We're talking about 9,000 cops quit in less than 2 years. They left. How do I know this? I have friends that are cops. One of them is being a trucker in Missouri because he'd rather truck in America where he gets more respect than be a police officer that's disrespected down there. I see that Inter Boricua says, but the Second Amendment is heavily restricted on the island. The government doesn't trust people to protect themselves. Well, Ramon, you can get, it's only $300. You need a few papers from the police. Trust me, I looked this up. It's only $300. You get a few things that you have to get from the police, and you get your permit to have your gun. I see that Jose says, so the cops who will retire will have to get on welfare. Absolutely. Or get another job. That's it. And me and MK, when we went to Puerto Rico, we actually met a cop at where we were staying. And he's not only a cop, he was also working on construction on his time off. So that's the reality for police officers on the island. So I really don't know what these ladies expect, or who is the super. If they're expecting Batman to come save them, then keep dressing like that, honey, because nobody's coming in the dark alley to come rescue you with your booty shorts. That's what we're trying to tell y'all. Nobody is coming. No one. Nada. Culo. Dick. No one's coming. So keep wearing the booty shorts. We'll mourn your passing or whatever happens to you. We hope you survive or run fast because we simply don't have a way to protect you and you won't listen to reason. So that's all I had to say based on that. And like I said, I know I will get heat because you know how people get, you
I
know how
no
people
one thought to
you know, you know how people get. So in all honesty, that's all I have to say. But guys, we have a topic today that's popping. So let's just keep this moving to the main topic. All righty. The main topic today. I know many people that waited for this. And the main topic for today is Roe versus Wade by Alito equals Handmaid's Tale. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have had the opportunity to watch The Handmaid's Tale. I know I have, and I love the show. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to give you a brief synopsis of this show so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. Basically, The Handmaid's Tale is the story of life in the dystopia of Gilead, a totalitarian society in what was the United States. Gilead is ruled by a fundamentalist regime that treats women as property of the state and is faced with environmental disasters as a plummeting birth rate. So the main problem is the Republic of Gilead have subjugated women and reduced handmaids like Offred to sexual slavery. Offred desires happiness and freedom and finds herself struggling against the totalitarian restrictions of Gilead. So basically, I don't know, like I said, if you guys have watched this show, if you have not watched Handmaid's Tale, you have been living under a damn rock. This show is the itch. Okay. This show is insane. If you want to understand what will happen if we keep giving ridiculous unequal rights to these crazy modern ladies, not all of them, right? But the crazy ones, this is what will happen. I said it on a show before, and I will say it again. If we keep pandering to the ridiculous demands of women that want no responsibility for themselves, eventually men will go back to their natural state, which is the leader. And we really don't want that because that's an extreme, and extremes are never healthy. So we must unite and find common ground, especially when men are coming to the table with good faith. And we should just try to have the conversation, solve our issues, and it's a 50-50 thing. Okay? So with that being said, now that you guys understand the Handmaid's Tale, which basically entails the fact that many ladies uh, in the past, right? I'm gonna explain it a little bit more in detail so you guys understand. Uh, there is a point where in the United States, liberalism and feminism got to a toxic point, and because the world and the United States became more and more toxic, and the rest of the world did, women started being more and more infertile. So they could not procreate with their husbands as they used to. So a lot of restrictions on birth control and other things were put in place, and abortions and stuff like that. They were put in place in order for the population to stop shrinking. So basically, there's this couple that started campaigning for a concept that will shift the shrinking of the population, and this concept was called the Republic of Gilead. So basically, the United States, there were areas in the United States that were still a little rough, but most of the United States decided to adopt this principle. And the ladies that were married were considered their wives. And if they could not conceive, we will get the women that were either sinful or were on OnlyFans or were lesbians, whatever lady that was like free spirited out there that could conceive, she will be educated for a few months into being a handmaid. Basically, a handmaid will go to the husband's and the wife's house, live there, and allow the husband to have sex with her. So eventually, she will get pregnant, carry that child, and give it to that couple. That's what the show is about, and it's basically in the future of what will happen if we continue down this trend. You guys know already that society is shrinking in Japan, is shrinking in China, is shrinking in the US, is shrinking in Canada. Latin America, that's another story. We have too much sex, but I hope that it doesn't. But in all honesty, it's crazy to me that we're seeing this whole thing about Roe versus Wade right now and people getting upset. But let's get into that. Like I said, today I'm going to talk a lot because there's so much to digest when it comes to women's rights and the temperature of stuff that's happening to a lot of the situation and the polarity discussion, right? So in this article that explains what's happening, when will the Supreme Court rule on the case that could overturn Roe versus Wade? The Supreme Court is likely to strike down the landmark case that guarantees a woman's right to an abortion. Basically, you see the angry women, and it says a leaked draft of a U.S. Supreme Court opinion indicating that the court is preparing to overturn Roe versus Wade has sent lawmakers into a frenzy. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is pushing for a floor vote on a bill that will codify the right to abortion into law, while his Republican counterpart, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, told USA Today that a federal abortion ban was possible. The current base Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization hinges on the constitutionality of a Mississippi abortion law. Oral arguments were heard in December, but a formal decision isn't expected until June when the current judicial term ends. In the draft, Associate Justice Samuel Alito contends that the Constitution makes no reference to abortion and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision. He says the opinion in Roe versus Wade rested in part on the due process clause of the 14th Amendment, which Associate Justice Harry Blackham wrote included the right to privacy, including a woman's qualified right to terminate her pregnancy. So Alito, however, said Blackmun's majority opinion in Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. So, guys, basically, right? Basically, what we're seeing right now is that there was a law that was created, right? That women were able to have an abortion. Give me 1 second, guys. Women were able to have an abortion, right? And now that's going to get banned because of the interpretation of the Supreme Court justices that think that this is egregiously wrong. Now, I'm going to look at all sides of the spectrum because I know there's a lot of people. Like I've seen Gavin Newsom already campaigning on it. I've seen Nancy Pelosi came out of the woodwork and started crying for the woman. Joe Biden is writing on this too. We're gonna get to the political part later. You guys know I love getting into politics, so I will get into the politics later. Now, my thing is, are women reading the culture we're living in? Because I think it doesn't. I think the scales of justice are finally, men are pushing so much for equality that the scales of justice are finally tipping in their favor. What do I mean? I'm going to explain. If you are pregnant, and because I've heard this a lot, I've heard a lot of women that love to say, oh, to a man that did not want to have a kid, oh, you knew what you were doing when you were having sex. You should have not have unprotected sex if you did not want a kid. Be responsible and accept your consequences, right? That's what we say to the men. How many times, put a number one if you have ever heard this from anyone, that men need to accept the responsibility that comes with the fact that they had unprotected sex and got a woman pregnant. So whatever that brings, they have to accept this responsibility. That's what men have heard their whole lives. Their whole lives. I see that MK put a number one. If you have heard this at any point in your life, put a number one in the chat. Now, my thing is, it's an insult. As a woman, I feel insulted that we even need this, because you have to think like this. If we need an extra layer of protection or shielding from responsibility because we had unprotected sex, we didn't choose. There's 34 methods of contraception, and then there's plan B for the aftermath. Like, in case you didn't use the other ones, then you have another one. So there's 35 methods of contraception for women. 35. You can use a plastic ring up your vajayjay. Even if it falls off, you can wash it, put it back in. There's a sticker. There's the Nexplanon, which is something they inject on your arm. You don't have to worry about nothing again. There's a bunch of pills. There is, I think, a pill that you take. There's a lot of things that you could possibly do. There's an injection that you have to take once a year. I think it's the Depo-Provera, something like that. There's a lot of things. I see, look, Jose, Risa Realm, Johnny Mills, Rakim, they all put a number one. So that means that I'm not the only one that has heard that. So if you have had all those options, men only have condoms, and for the first time they have one type of pill. So they only have two options to avoid having kids, and they have to man up and pay that child support for 18 years or 26 years, depending where they live, and if the kid goes to college. Right? So women should also accept that responsibility. And we're not telling women that they have to carry that baby to term. We're not telling women that. What we're telling women is, if you want to use your vagina, then you have to know how to use it before you use it, not after you use it. And that is the problem that we're having today. We have a lot of women that want to have sex even before they know how their period works. A lot of women out here don't know how long is their cycle. They don't know their vagina is a self-cleansing system in their body. They don't know that the sperm of a man can live up to 5 days in your uterus. They don't know a lot of stuff, but they go ahead and have sex, and then they expect everybody to keep clapping that they want to keep killing babies. We're done with that because you have become more responsible. Us giving you the right to have an abortion, the only meaning was that you will become more responsible and use that only on extreme situations. You get my point? Like, it was never supposed to be a subculture. Like, oh, I will just have reckless sex, and if anything happens, I'll just go have a fucking abortion. That was never the point of this. And we're not trying to dictate what you do, but the practice, it's shocking to people. It's shocking to a large chunk of people, because there is a lot of birth control out there. I see that Risa Rem says, despite that women have all the authority in the sexual process and conception. Absolutely. I see that Jose said, but with all these options, many women are having unprotected sex. You can have unprotected sex and not end up pregnant. There is a sticker. There is the Nuva ring, which is a plastic ring that you just have to keep in the fridge and pop back in. Every week you have to pop one in. And if it comes out, uh, you just wash it with distilled water and soap and whatever and pop it back in. I've seen these commercials. There's a sticker, there's a freaking Nexplanon, which is something they shoot up your arm. There is the freaking injection that's once a year. There's, you don't have to drink the pill, but if there's the pill. Like there's many options. Abortion is the last resort when you have been assaulted and you didn't knew what was going on because you out of shame never went and checked what was going on with your body and you just went home and washed yourself. That's a case that I can possibly say yes, grant that woman an abortion. If there's an assault by a family member or somebody else and you were under a circumstance where you cannot take care of yourself, then go ahead and have that abortion. But this subculture of granting these crazy ass abortions to people needs to end. We're tired of seeing these clinics pop up everywhere. I see that Jose says, for many women, abortion is the first and only option. Absolutely. Rizzo says, abortion is used to empower hypergamy. Absolutely. Absolutely. And to be honest with you, like I said, the scales of justice, because men are also part of the citizenry. Men are withholding their purse. If you don't advocate or legislate in my favor, so that we can have equality too, then we'll drop everything and you will have to put the women that you keep pandering for in charge. Let's see how they do it. And I love it. I love that, men are doing that because enough is enough. You want to make the man responsible, then you also have to make the woman responsible. And women now are saying that we want to force them to carry a child. We don't want to force women to carry a child. We want to force women to, the same way that you understand that your vehicle takes either 87, 93, or 100 octane gasoline, that you also know your vagina before you use it. Protect it, take care of it to prevent incidents. You don't put water in your gasoline tank in your vehicle, right? Why? Because you know it's going to break down. Then why you put unprotected sex and another person's sexual organ in you, in a part that you don't even know how to properly functions? How do you even know that's not going to make you sick? How do you even know anything whatsoever? So that is my point. And I know a lot of people say like, oh, I'm pro-choice. I used to be pro-choice, but then I started seeing the statistics and I started being pro-life. And the reason why I'm pro-life is not because I'm pro those babies, because of course you're not going to bring people to suffer here in this world, but also I think people need to learn how to be responsible. If you wanted to be an adult and use your sexual organ, then you're going to have to find a way to make rain, because nobody forced you to do that. And I find it funny that a lot of the people that are saying women's body and their choice were the same motherfuckers that were telling us that we needed to force a jab in us. Where was my body and my effing choice when we did not want this medicine in our bodies, but we had no choice because they were playing with our economy and our jobs? They were playing with us being able to have a social life, going out, going to work out to the gym, going to the doctor, going to our office. Where was my body, my choice then? It's the same demographic that used to tell us, oh, get the vaccine and keep it moving and shut the F up and do all these stupid things. But now it's my body, my choice. So it's only for convenience. It's only for convenience. I thought that it was my body, my choice for everything. So if we can't have my body, my choice for a medicine that we still don't know what it's doing to us, then you cannot also have my body, my choice, because there's no way in hell that you have constitutional rights and we don't. And that is a message that many, many, many people, including the Supreme Court, is basically trying to tell these ladies, we're tired of y'all. This is not going to go anywhere. We can't have this any longer. Pick a birth control measure of your preference, of the 35 that are out there. And even, let me tell you something so that people can understand. The Plan B pill works this way. Let's say me and MK just met each other and we had unprotected sex, and I think that I might be pregnant, and we had it yesterday. If I'm not thinking about that today, it's okay. If I'm not thinking about that tomorrow, it's okay. We had sex yesterday, right? So I can take the pill Thursday and it's still, the baby won't come to fruition. You have 3 days to take the Plan B. 3 days after you know there was no condom in that sexual encounter to take the pill. But you still won 6 months. You won 6 freaking months. That's what women are fighting for. 6 months. And that is my problem with this whole culture. Like, it's so insane. It's so insane, which is why, like I said, I support overturning this. It has gotten out of control. And now we're going to transition to the political aspect of it. Because I understand that a lot of people are just seeing the women rights and we have to protect women at all costs and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell you something. I'm trying not to trigger folks out here. Just understand, I'm explaining how the politics, and I'm gonna do this disclaimer because I know it might be open for the worst interpretation in the world. What I'm going to talk about is not my personal views, but the way I interpret the politics of our country. Okay? It's not what I think. It's not my views. It's not my way of thinking, but it's what's happening. And I think it's my responsibility to share my opinion of what's happening, right? So if you're easily triggered by politics and stuff like that, then just log off. I won't be offended. Just make sure you like this video on your way out and you can watch the next video tomorrow. So now going to the political side of this situation, there's one thing that people don't understand. In 2020, we saw how disgusting and irresponsible police officer took the life of a Black man. And the fact that an act on any American, Black or white, was used for political gain by either party was one of the most disgusting things I've witnessed in modern politics. And especially when you're cashing and profiting from the death of people that you know America still owes them not only money, but understanding, tolerance, and peace. So I'm noticing a pattern right now because we know that because these people overpromised and underdelivered, they're now losing a lot of power and they're at risk of losing many, many blue states. And I'm sorry that I had to bring it like that. By any means, I am a Republican. I am for whatever makes sense. As a matter of fact, I'm looking into the People's Party. I don't know. It seems interesting to me, but who knows? We'll see. Whenever I'm in a position to vote, I'll vote for whatever I think it's right at that moment, right? Who knows? I might write in Mr. Potato because in the circus that we're in. But anyway, In my opinion, now we have this, someone in the Supreme Court has leaked this discussion. And I don't know if you guys know what happened in Ohio with the Democrats losing, but I'll more on that later. More on that later. But to be honest with you guys, uh, the fact that we're now seeing that after this leak, all of the Democratic Party and all of the governors of the Democratic Party have jumped into this whole thing to say, I will ensure, because this is my thing. Okay, if the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade, what that means is that at a federal level, which means every state is forced by the federal government to have the standardized law of not touching abortions. It doesn't matter if they like it or not, abortions are legal because the federal government overpowers state and local government. So basically, when the Supreme Court is talking about overturning Roe versus Wade, what they're saying is we're going to give the power back to the state, to the governors and the mayors, to actually decide if in their state they will allow this. They can legislate if they will allow this to continue. So you see now all the Democratic governors that are losing. We have Governor Cuomo is a disgraced governor that had to resign after allegations against him. The lady that replaced him, I'm gonna ask my New Yorkers over here that please tell me your opinions about this new Governor Cuomo replacement. Do you think it's a great replacement? Now, here in California, which is another major city, a Democratic city, people are so tired of Gavin Newsom. I know I am. We tried to recall him in 2021. Okay, that only happened like I think in 2008, 2010, something like that, and Arnold Schwarzenegger won. Then you have Seattle, Oregon, all of these cities that are going to shed because Democratic people are there's something common about Democratic cities. The crime is up, homelessness is up, taxes are up, the cities are destroyed, they look like shit. The cost of living is up the roof. That's the common ground of all Democratic cities. Now, Republican cities have other issues, but we're not talking about those issues now. But trust me, they do have issues. They're not perfect either. But those are the issues of the Democratic Party. So out of both of these parties, this party people seem to hate the most because they trusted them after the George Floyd situation, and all we get is excuses. Joe Biden said he was going to pardon student loan debt. Now he's saying that he might give us $10,000, which is nothing. Then especially when student loan debt is $1.75 trillion in the nation. So it's literally nothing. On top of that, he said that he was going to give us a minimum wage of $15. He took it out of the bill. He doesn't care anymore about giving us that. He talked about, making things better for policing in America. Nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is that now your dollars can buy less things. That the gas prices are back up to the Obama era. That's like over $5. That we're still funneling money to Raytheon like we were before. Nothing changed there. Nothing changed. Just that things are more expensive. You have to work more. Nothing changed. Things still are the same way, and people are still dying at the hands of brutal maniac police officers. So people are becoming more and more disgusted with the Democratic Party to the point that they are refusing to vote for these people. So, what would you do if you want to remain in power and there's only one way out? Use identity politics and savior politics. What do I mean by savior politics? Well, I will come save you from the horrific policies that this Republican horrendous party is implementing on you so that we definitely can come and help you out in your struggling moment because we solidarize with your cause. Well, let me tell you something. Was it Nora Jones, her name? I don't want to confuse her with the singer. But there was this lady that lost her primary. And people were like, oh, like she was pro-abortion and stuff. People don't care about that. And I wanna do something before people think. Johnny Mills says that's why they're losing the black votes. Absolutely. People ain't stupid. I'm gonna tell you something. Before, because I love the internet. I love that the internet never forgets. Never forgets. Let me tell you something. If you are one of those blue zombies that is trying to pressure us and bully us into voting blue no matter what, if they fuck us in the ass with no Vaseline, no lubricant or anything, I'm going to show you something in case you're one of those blue zombies, okay? There was a point in history where Obama ran for office, and he promised that he was going to codify into the Constitution Roe versus Wade. There was a time when Obama did that. Let me just remove this from here so you guys can see it completely. There was a time when he ran on that. Obama had the chance to codify Roe versus Wade, but chose not to prioritize it. This is not a me thing. This is not a me thing. This is the Mogul nation. And this is not the only place. I believe the New York Times also reported in this stuff. So this is not the only time that Democrats have been presented with this type of news and this type of situation and choose not to do anything. He had every opportunity to codify this into the Constitution, and he did not prioritize it. Why? Because they don't care about you. Because that was not the priority. The priority was money. You know? So, like I said, now you see them. Now you see them saying a lot of things about how horrible this is. You know, how this it's supposed to be so important, and how they're going to fight for you, and how they're going to do all these things. Look, it doesn't even stop there. If you're thinking that you're going to vote for these hypocrites, look, I'm going to show you the New York Post. That's another thing. Like I said, I love the internet because it never forgets, and you guys know I like to bring receipts. In September 2nd, 2021, okay, Pelosi announces vote on bill to codify Roe versus Wade.
What happened?
Okay, so this has been on the laps of Nancy Pelosi, the House and the Senate for over a year. But they decided that that was not a priority. That wasn't as important. So before people think, oh, let me vote Democrat in my state because they care about me terminating this pregnancy, they care about my rights and stuff. Look, it won't surprise me. And I'm gonna say this because this is mere speculation. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay. In my opinion, Risa Rem said it before. Facts. This is the first time a ruling was legal on a Supreme Court. A Democrat probably did it. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. I'm gonna go on why I'm here. I think because you have to think about who benefits from this leaking. Who benefits from that? Simple. The people that benefit from this are the Democratic Party. They're actually losing left and right, and people don't want them no more. People don't trust them no more because we are more in debt. We have to work more. We have to create more money. Nothing that was promised was done, and we're in the same position we were. And they told us that the problem was the Cheeto. When in reality, the problem is the bipartisan bullshit and nonsense that we have been living under. That is the problem. That is the problem. I see that Jon Snow says, like a constitutional amendment, how practical is that? Well, that was supposed to be codified. That's something that has been demanded since 1973 because there was a point when women feared that at some point that right was going to be taken away from them. So the only way to stamp it as law on a federal level forever and could not be changed was to stamp it on the Constitution, staple it in there. Because, look, this is how the law system works. We have a constitution, and from the constitution, which is something that's unchangeable, nobody can change that. The only way the constitution can change is a consensus among the Supreme Court, the Senate, and the House. And they all have to come into a consensus that would take years to recodify the constitution. Now, that is the unchangeable law. And from that, there's a lot of stems that are called laws that have been legislated for to adapt the Constitution to modern times throughout history. So if a law goes against the Constitution and that can be established and interpreted by a judge in a court of law, that law is null and void because the Constitution always comes first. Get my point? So that's the reason why they wanted to staple that in the Constitution, to make it literally unchangeable throughout history. I see that Charles Irby said, I support the abortion ban. Abortion isn't an alienable right. It is a privilege. Absolutely. And we're tired of it. We are literally tired of it. There's 35 options of birth control. Pick one, shut the hell up, and stop killing babies. Enough is enough. So, like I said before, in my opinion, this is a political move. I don't think anything will happen with abortions. If it does happen, it will still be a political move, in my opinion. Because that's the way politics are working now, is punishing the people. And I won't be surprised. And this is something that for the blue zombies, and that's how I'm going to call y'all. There's the blue zombies and the MAGA zombies, okay? For the blue zombies, if a party is capable of trying to play with rights that were achieved over 30 years ago in order to win and attain power, do you still want to vote for that party? What tells you tomorrow they're not going to come for the civil rights that Mr. Martin Luther King obtained for us in the 60s? Who says they're not going to come for our rights to vote? Who says they're not going to in order to obtain power? So do you still want to subscribe to be a blue zombie? Are you not reading the room? Are you that stupid? Do you still want to be part of the blue zombie army? Like, I don't understand these people. I don't understand people. We're being played and people don't want to move. I see that Jose says blue zombie taps. Yeah. The blue zombie army is one of the worst, and the MAGA zombies even worse. There's no reasoning with these people. So the people that are more in the center, that are more moderate, that can see both sides of the spectrum and can see that we need both sides, but in a balanced way, we need to act, because the zombies around us, the walking dead, would allow this country to go to shit, and still voting for the people that are taking our money to put it into big corporations, not investing anything over here, that are capable of playing with our rights, with stuff that has been established regarding of how we feel about the abortion ban. I am pro-life. You guys know that already. I've said it publicly. But regardless, what are they going to use tomorrow? They already used the death of a black man to win the presidential election. Now they're using women's abortion to win at a state level because they're losing. What are they going to use tomorrow? These people have no shame, no class, no freaking limits. And I want to talk to the people that are like me. We're part of the non-voting bloc. We need to register to vote and vote these people the hell out. There's no way in hell we have rich politicians. If you can't see that, and even if you're, let's say, for example, you're a rich person, you're a person that, and that applies even, like I said, even to the Cheeto. A billionaire does not stop winning $15 million a year to come earn $400K per year. That makes no sense, because they love the country. They're doing that because they're winning and making more money. That's what makes sense. So it's time to wake the hell up and stop with this fruity loop dream that we're living in. We're living in crazy ass times. But the consequences of this they're very real. Look at where we are look at your economy today. This is what y'all and me allowed to happen. So I see that Charles Irby says, in Texas Heartbeat Act, there has been an uptick in babies being born in Texas. The abortion ban has been effective in Texas. Absolutely. Absolutely. But maybe, I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm just full of shit. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to go into a quick intermission like I normally do. And if you don't know you think I don't know what I'm talking about, you differ, you want to express your point of view, you want to talk about anything that I've talked today about this whole situation, then come up. I want to hear from you. Because we're living on unprecedented times. And I'm going to focus a lot on politics during this year, because we're going to analyze every time the stupidity of today's society. But guys, before I go into intermission and then I'll come back to people, I want to remind everybody to follow me on Instagram, Denise Gonzalez Villegas 1, so that you can keep up with everything that's happening in Latin America, in the United States, from a Latina's perspective. And also, if you want to keep up with me and see like the fun things that I post, because trust me, if you're not following me, you're missing out. Make sure you go to Instagram, denise.gonzalez.villegas1, so you can keep up with everything that I am doing. Now, guys, it's right now where I am at. It's 6:49. I will be back at 6:54. See you guys in a minute. righty. And we are back, people. We are back once again. Thank you for allowing me to take a sip of water so I can continue and talk to you guys about what's going on today. Now, I hope that you guys took your drinks, your snacks, and also use the loo so that we can have this discussion. Before I let I see that Jose is already in. Before I let Jose in, I want to remind you guys that the views and the statements of the guests do not necessarily represent those of the channel and or those of the panel members, as some comments may be offensive to select groups of people. Also, I want to remind you guys that by calling into the live show, you waive your rights to the use of your image and likeness for the purposes of this show. Now, without any further ado, I want to introduce the king of the cold, the king of the senior citizenship directly from the nursing home with Tupac's age modems, Jose Negron. What's up, Jose?
Good evening. But you know something, Denise? Your material is getting extremely stale. I'm so disappointed. I thought millennials were more original than that.
People love that joke a lot. They have told me they love it. Now, what do you have on the topic about what we have discussed today? I know I've talked a lot, so what do you have on today's topic?
Okay, well, first of all, if you take a look at the decision regarding Roe v. Wade, I mean, in a nutshell, in a nutshell, it stated the following: that there will be no restrictions regarding abortions in the first trimester. In the second trimester, abortion can be obtained, but with certain restrictions.
Mhm.
But in the third trimester, virtually no abortions were allowed. Unfortunately, what happened? That the people who are for reproductive rights, um, they decide, you know what? Let's have abortions up to the ninth month with no restrictions whatsoever. Okay? And instead of spending all that time just to make it easier to have abortions, they should be spending that time educating everybody regarding all the devices that we can use to prevent unwanted pregnancy. Okay? Now, what's happening now is that, and this is the analogy I use. It's
Mhm.
like you are at the gambling table. You
Mhm.
win $5,000. So you get greedy and you decide to turn that $5,000 into, say, $50,000 or $100,000. And the result is you lose all the money that you won. I think what happened is those people who are in reproductive rights overplayed their hands. And the pendulum has shifted. And I know I'm going to get haters for saying it, but you know what? And, and my Wi-Fi is working.
Well, did you fix your modem?
Okay, what I did was I increased the speed and I changed the laptop I was using.
Okay. Well, guys, so basically, okay, Jose, do you consider yourself pro-life or pro-choice?
I'm pro-life,
You're pro-life,
but
so you're like me.
but this thing, yeah, but what makes me unique with other pro-life people is this: I think there are areas where pro-life and we protect the right people can agree on,
Mm-hmm.
and what are those things? That there should be sex education taught in the schools. Because if the parents are
But
not
they
going
are
to
taught. But they
educate,
are taught. They are taught. You're taught in
okay,
school
well, okay,
how
well,
your reproductive system works. You know, you're
okay,
taught in school. Come again?
okay, but are they being taught about the different devices though?
Of course. You look at 16 years old. You can already go to a gynecologist and get birth control without your
Okay.
parents' consent, and that is taught in schools. So I don't know, and this is my thing. This is the logic that I find crazy to me. If you're under 18, you need an adult's consent to have an abortion. My thing is, it's not 15-year-olds having abortions out here. We're talking about grown adults. And if you
Mhm.
are over 18 and you do not know how your vagina works, why are you using it? And we have every right to question that. I don't care that you feel offended, that it's your body, your choice. Kick rocks. We don't have to mold society to what you want. We don't want to live in a society when we know we're allowing a 6-month-old baby to get killed. That baby had the first thing that a baby gets is a brain and a heartbeat. Last time I checked, how do you notice that someone is dead? What did they check first? Jose, what do they
I think they
check
check
to?
the heartbeat first.
Exactly. So if there's a heartbeat, it's their life. There's
But
life.
you know what? But you know what's the hypocrisy?
Yeah, go ahead.
That if someone commits homicide against a woman who's pregnant, they're not one victim, they're two victims. That's the hypocrisy of the whole thing.
Yeah. And that's
And I
that's
know I'm
my
going to get
take.
haters for it, but I don't care.
Yeah, and that's my take with this whole ladies. Oh, the baby's just a fetus, until he's born. Excuse me? He's a fetus until he's born, but then someone can get charged for two murders if they kill a pregnant woman. I see that Patrick's Time says abortion is murder, and he says more black babies are aborted in New York than black babies born. He said some could call that genocide. No chance Biden got 81 million votes. The big lie is that Biden won. Well, I mean, a lot of nobody protested that. People were. I remember Demi Lovato, Queen Latifah, and a lot of blue zombies crying because, as if we were living under, I don't know, the KKK running the country or something. Like crying because Joe Biden won. I'm like, this is the same MFer that was called Jim Crow Joe. This is the MFer that put uncle, auntie, and daddy in prison. And you're crying because he won.
But you know something,
People are
Denise?
dumb. Go ahead.
The MIG community is continue to increase. Now we have the blue zombie taps and we have the mega taps.
The MAGA types. Yeah,
The mega
it's
zombie
something.
taps.
They this is the thing. The Walking Dead wants to make you think that they are the majority. Let me tell you something. They are not the majority. These are the same people. The voters pool are the same people. With proper manipulation, politicians have discovered they can sway their opinions. But the major block of voters is the people that don't vote. And I think it's time for us to aim at that group, but aim with reality. I'm part of that block because I don't believe it's okay to vote for the lesser of two evils. Yes, I supported the Shito in 2016, and I supported the Cheeto again in 2020 because I thought, Joe Biden ain't the solution to Donald Trump. So and Hillary Clinton was never the solution to Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump was the solution to Hillary Clinton. So my thing is, why we have to settle? Let's say, for example, that you're going into a restaurant and you're driving, you're wasting gas, you put on a nice cologne, you scrub your skin, you took a nice bath, you clip your nails, you clip your cuticles, you went to the barber shop, you got your trim, you put on a suit that you had dry clean and everything, you pay for that. You put your cologne, you sit in your car, you put some gas, you drive to this place, to this steakhouse to have this amazing steak. You want a filet mignon and you want it well done. And when you ask for it, they tell you, we're going to give you filet mignon. But then later on, they come to you and tell you, we only have two choices: meatloaf or Kraft mac and cheese. And those are your only options. And that's what you have to pick from: meatloaf sandwich or Kraft's mac and cheese. So you start weighing in, did you make in-house the meatloaf? Then I'm just supposed to eat the meatloaf because the Kraft's mac and cheese is just crap food that you eat when you're too lazy to cook anything. But it tastes like shit. So the fact that America has been forced to pick the freaking meatloaf sandwich for so many decades, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of the meatloaf. And my intention was to get the filet mignon, and I want filet mignon. We worked too hard to keep getting the meatloaf freaking sandwich.
Well, what we need to do, okay, because what we need to do is basically we need to take a look of the people, or the morons that are running for office, and we really need to go through their whole entire platform, and I mean go for it, completely. And then we got to pick the ones that most likely is going to support what we believe. I mean, but the reality is the way the whole primary system is set up, as far as the presidency. You can have, like, in one party you can have like 20 candidates, and in another party you can have 15 candidates. Okay, unfortunately, the ones that might be so, what happens is everyone settle for stale milk or skim milk.
But I think you're missing the point.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, both parties, it doesn't matter if we would have picked Bernie Sanders instead of Hillary Clinton. I want you to understand that. If we would have picked Bernie, it was still good for Goldman Sachs and Raytheon and Wall Street and Bank of America, because they don't work for you. Bernie Sanders can say anything, but he doesn't work for you. He works for Goldman Sachs, for Raytheon, for Wall Street and Bank of America. He doesn't work for you. It's the same thing with Donald Trump. It's the same thing with DeSantis. It's the same thing with whoever runs for office for both parties. People need to get from, if you're not able, and I'm going to say this in the best way possible, if you're not able to divorce from the zombie army, whichever army you belong to, either the MAGA zombies or the blue zombies, if you're not able to divorce from this, then the conversation is not, you're part of the problem. You're gonna remain in that block. This is not about parties. This bipartisan nonsense is exactly what has us in this position. We have to start understanding that the only way to get out of the jam is to not vote for any institutionalized party, because it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. So the fact that we're like, oh, like we're gonna go for this party and look at these people's resume, I think we should vote for independent people. We should vote for parties that have never won. We should vote for write-ins that we of people we think are good. This is the type of stuff we need to do, because these people are not bought by corporate yet. They don't know the system yet. They have not been in office yet. So it's not they're great people. I've said it many times here. Any politician that's in politics is a criminal. And I have no problem with that. We just need new mother effing criminals. Okay? So, like I said, I don't care who you vote for, but just understand we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for better criminals, modern criminals. We're tired of Nancy Pelosi. We're tired of Joe Biden. We're tired of the Cheeto. We're tired of all these old ass criminals. We need new criminals.
Okay. But you know what? We do have new criminals. We have like people like ALC. We have like Marjorie Taylor Greene. We have like
She's not a
Ron
new
Bowen.
criminal. She's not a new criminal because she's under the old system of the Democratic Party. She's not going to act against the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party is old criminals. They run the party. That she doesn't count. She's part of the old criminals. It doesn't matter if they call themselves progressives, if tomorrow they call themselves stuff, if she opens an OnlyFans, it doesn't matter. She's still part of the old criminals, and she abides by the rules. We need new criminals, fresh off the boat criminals.
Okay. The problem is this. We're gonna have to go through independent parties. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, independent. For whatever reason, whether because too many people follow are like sheep. They don't bother thinking about an independent party. And in fact, really, the last time that a presidential candidate did anything that was like a separate party was back in 1968, and it was by a white supremacist.
Yeah,
So
no,
how?
and but
So
this
my
is my
question
thing.
is, I'm sorry. My question is, how are we going to get these new? Okay, like you said, the new criminals. Where are we going to find them?
The new criminals are in your ballot. That it's that simple. The new criminals are in your ballot. Believe it or not, that's all the promotion they're supposed to need. The problem is, like, if you're still married to your zombie campaign, your zombie army, you're not going to be able to do none of those things. Take a chance. What can be worse than the same old big corporations running America? What can be worse than that? What can be
So
worse than two political parties that can see that 500,000 people are homeless in this country, that there's 80% of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck, that literally 76% of America cannot afford a $400 emergency, that 71% of Americans cannot afford to purchase their first home? And I can continue. I
okay,
can continue the list. So my thing is, what is it going to take for people to divorce from their stupidity and understand that what you taking a chance, what can be worse than people that are seeing all of these things, you vote them in and they still legislate to create programs that will pay billions and trillions of dollars into corporations to send that money overseas. instead of
So,
helping Americans. And then when you ask for something, then the problem is you. You need to pull yourself by your own bootstraps. But I'm taking the boot and I'm taking the strap. So where are we supposed to pull ourselves up from? So what can be worse than that? That's something that both extremes need to ask themselves. If you're a Republican or a Democrat at this point, you're a fucking moron. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you hate me. You're a fucking moron. And that's literally my sentiment. If you are a Democrat or a Republican at this point, you are a fucking moron. And you deserved your registration for voting to be revoked, because being a Democrat and a Republican today is one of the most un-American things you could possibly do.
so you think it's more viable to be like an independent, like be independent, or join one of the small parties?
Vote for whoever is not a Republican or Democrat. Look them up. You know who's on the ballot. Look them up
Okay.
before you go vote. And whoever you think it's a little bit better than the others, then vote for that person. What can be worse than these two people, these two groups of people? What can be worse than that?
Maybe I should write my name for president next
Just
presidential election. I can't do any worse.
write in yourself, your neighbor, your boss. I don't care. Give these people nothing. I'm gonna be like Leonidas on the 300. Uh, take everything from them and give them nothing. It's
Well,
time.
I'm going to start I'm going to start my campaign, which is make America cold again.
Oh my God. Anyway, I hope. I know we always go to the political because, I mean, I always go to the political part. You know.
Mhm.
Uh, but in all
Denise,
honesty, what?
are you trying to be the female version of Kevin Samuels?
Oh, no, 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 no. I see that Patrick Stein made an interesting question that I want to answer. He says, why did all the biggest corporations funded BLM? Simple, because these corporations needed the Democratic Party to win in order for them to get more money. We don't know what backdoor deal Biden and the Democratic Party did with them, but probably they were offering more money than the Republicans. The Republicans were still offering them money, but probably the Democrats were giving them more money. You get my point?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's what they were funding BLM. That's the only reason why they were funding BLM. They literally profited off of black men death. And that is why I'm like, I apologize in the beginning because like I said, these are not things that I associate myself with. This is not the way I think, but this is what's really happening. And I think it's time for people to understand this stuff. Profiting
Mhm.
from black men's death has become a business in America. Profiting from women suffering, because it's true, has become a business in America. Profiting from identity politics has become a career. All of these things are a career. Trying to play with people's emotions has become part of the political campaign. You know, where there was a point where politicians used to buy your vote by giving you stuff. That technique that is not needed no more. Now it's like, who's the biggest asshole? Who kicks me the most, and that's the person I'm gonna vote for. And you want to know why that happened? Because we allowed ourselves to be registered to vote under a party, because they know that it doesn't matter how many times they kick you, and even if they send you to the fucking plantation again, you're still gonna give them your fucking vote. That is the problem.
Um, Denise,
Go ahead.
there's a scene. There's a scene in Animal House where a person is pledging for a fraternity, and they're
Mhm.
getting whacked in the butt. And every time the person gets whacked in the butt, the guy says, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is exactly what's going on. If you're not tired of this, then go ahead, keep being a blue zombie. And like I said, I'm going to keep going at the politicians. I think Gavin Newsom is so thirsty to become president. You know, it's so thirsty. Hey, Rakim, exactly, Rakim. Facts. Facts. Patrick's Time says ESG is the new credit score for corporations. I am not familiar with it, but thank you for bringing it up to me. I'm going to look it up. Thank you for letting me know. I'm going to look it up and I'll discuss it out here. But definitely, uh, he's so thirsty to be president. Like legit so thirsty. He came out thinking that we believe this dude. They're so out of touch with reality, guys. And that's how stupid they think we are. This dude literally told us that even though gas is up the roof, okay, I love small vehicles. MK knows this. Everybody that knows me knows that I love small vehicles. That's my thing. They're so convenient. I don't care that people like other things. I love small vehicles for a reason, unless it's my dream car, which is a 1987 Bronco. That's the only big car that I actually love. Now, my thing is, my tiny vehicle used to be filled up with $28 in 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
Today at the pump, and I have the receipts for this, I fill up my tank with $54 today.
That's crazy.
And that is what Gavin Newsom has us under. Why I say Gavin Newsom? Because people don't understand this stuff. We have the crazy gas prices. But on top of the gas prices, Gavin Newsom, in the middle of the pandemic, implemented a second gas tax per gallon of 50 cents. And on top of that, this year, there's another tax coming our way. So when you guys pay the gallon at $5, we paid at $5.50, thanks to Gavin Newsom. He said that that was to better our roads. Now, I want Californians that are watching this to tell me, when was the last time that you remember driving through California and not getting fucking potholes up the ass? I swear to God, there was one point where I thought I could see the devil through a pothole. That's how deep these potholes are. Where is this money going?
If you are living in New York, you can ride the subway. You don't have to drive.
Stop. No, joking aside, this is serious.
Yeah, I get you.
You know? So my thing is, brace yourselves. Because there's going to come a point where, I've said it many times, where if you want to understand, yeah, go ahead, Patrick. I have the link pinned up. Just click on it and make sure that you close YouTube. You only have the StreamYard tab and you can call in. There was a time, and I've said it plenty times before, if you're a connoisseur of history, look up Russia 1890s. We're actually heading that way, where there was a specific class of people and then there was the peasants, and the peasantry never moved up from peasantry. That status was inherited by their kids and the kids of their kids. That's who we are to these people. If you're not part of the 1%, you're a thug. And for you to be part of the 1%, that means that by my age, you have to have, per year, you have to make 400K. If you don't make 400K in my age, which is 34 years old, you are a peasant. I don't care that you are middle class. You are a peasant. You are a thug. That's just how it is. Mm-hmm. And like I said, people, I don't know if you're waking. Wake up. Wake up. The 1890s in Russia weren't pretty. I've said it plenty of times. I'm gonna give Patrick some time to call in. If he doesn't call in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna start wrapping this up. But in all honesty, guys, I want you guys to understand that all the things that instigate high emotions, the link is pinned up. If you look at the comment section in the chat, there's like a blue strip at the top. That's where the link is at. But I can put it back in the chat if you need it. Hold on. But like I said, in all honesty, everything that's now being used to instigate high emotions that is playing with things that are like towards high emotions, it's just being weaponized for power. And the fact that this is the disgusting way that they're doing this, and it's so much in our face, and we allow this to happen, and they're doing it because they know, like I said before, even if they put us back in the plantations, or if they give us back the kerosene bats like they used to do at the border, we're still gonna vote for them. The fact that they think they can still do these things and we're still gonna vote for them is beyond me. Is beyond me.
It's like they need psychological attention.
Yeah, no, they don't, because they know it's wrong. They're just doing it because it's power.
No, I'm talking. I'm referring to the people that they see what's going on, but yet they continue with the same action. It's like you do the same thing like 10 million times, but you're expecting a different result.
Yeah, exactly. They're insane. You're absolutely right. They're completely insane. This is people that are completely unstable, and I worry, guys. I worry. But anyway, I'm gonna start. Oh, I see Patrick's here. Let me add him up. Let's give Patrick a welcome for the first time
I worry,
to
guys. I
Latin
worry. But
Explaining.
anyway, I'm gonna start.
Patrick, make sure that because I hear some feedback. Make sure that your YouTube tab is closed, because otherwise we're gonna hear ourselves. Okay, hold on. Jose, I'm gonna mute you, and I'm gonna mute myself so that
Hey, you there? Denise.
yeah, we're here. What's up, Patrick? I'm gonna mute you, and I'm gonna mute myself so that
Hey, you there? Denise.
yeah, we're here. What's up, Patrick? I'm mute you, and I'm gonna mute myself so that okay, there's still some echo. We're here. Are you, because it's still repeating itself? Make sure that your YouTube, like MK said, your YouTube is off. It's still repeating itself. Make sure that your I'm gonna mute you until you just make sure your YouTube is closed. Like the tab where you have YouTube, close it, and just leave the StreamYard. We're gonna give you a few minutes, because I know it's the first time. It's okay. It's got a little confusing, but just make sure that the YouTube tab
Hey,
is.
all right, hey, how we good? We good?
Good. Now we can hear you. What's up?
Oh man, I'm just listening to you rant and rave, man. I like it.
Thank you very much. So, what do you think about what we're talking? I know we transition a little bit more into the politic aspect of this whole Roe versus Wade. So, what's your take on it?
I think this is a spiritual battle. This isn't political. This is good and evil.
What do you mean by spiritual battle?
Well, some people look at life through spiritual biblical lens, and what we're seeing now is good and evil. I think the abortion thing is, many societies in history have sacrificed kids in different ways to the gods, and I think in a way we've been doing that.
What you mean, like sacrificing? Like now, you think we're sacrificing kids?
Yeah. I think we're experimenting on them. I think we're, selling parts, keeping them alive, using organs. And uh, yeah, I mean, there is evil in this world. It's the idea that people aren't capable of really bad things is a bit naive. And there are bad people out
No, there's bad people. I just don't think we're sacrificing babies. I think this is literally just pure greed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Money's always a part of it. Oh.
Um, if I can just, if
Now
I could
look at
just
what
chime in.
MK look at what MK says. MK is like, Patrick, that's cool, Patrick, but then he doesn't believe in the spiritual aspect. Yeah, I don't. I honestly, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in that. I do believe there's greed behind it.
Okay.
I don't believe that this is a spiritual war, though.
Okay. All right. Well, talk to me about this. What do you feel
Uh,
about energy when somebody walks into a room? Like you feel energy, right? There's things around us that we don't see that happen that we don't understand, that we're not capable of understanding. And I don't know what dimension that is, but there are other dimensions around us that you feel that you've experienced that we can't explain. And that's good energy, that's bad energy, and there's a struggle between that always.
I don't. Okay, I respect your point of view, of course, but I don't believe in that. I believe that we're all capable of both good and evil, and both things reside in each one of us. That's what I
Yes.
believe in.
excuse me, if I can just
Go
chime
ahead,
in.
Jose.
I think I understand what Patrick is talking about,
Go
because
ahead.
if you take a look at the Old Testament, you had different people who had that used to sacrifice children to foreign gods. And I think what he means, that in the sense that not in a literal sense, but like an analogy, that children are being sacrificed, um, because it indirectly through abortion. Patrick, are you a born again Christian?
Yeah. I'm a Christian. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you see, okay, okay. Well, let me just explain something. I've come to the saving knowledge of our Lord Savior Jesus Christ for almost 34 years. It's just that you know Denise is an atheist, but she does have a lot of respect for Christian, at least those who are authentic Christians. It's just that there's certain it's certain topics and things that other believers will understand. No offense, Denise.
Yeah.
No, I understand where he's coming from, but in reality, this is beyond the spiritual realm. There are many things that are like spiritual, and we can see the spiritual aspect of this, but in reality, the intentions behind the people pulling the strings here are merely because of greed, power, and just their
Would you
politics in order to attain that power.
you think these people are evil?
I don't think they're evil. I think they're greedy. I think, like I said,
You,
they have the potential to be both good and bad. I can't judge someone, I don't know them, but
so you've seen like historical documentaries of like Roman times and like how they treated you know people back then. The rugrats or the vagrants, whatever you want to call them. I mean, I don't even know, but slaves. I mean, they obviously had slaves. Just the way they created or treated people. Um, the power structure has a tendency to think like that. They don't think of us like people. They think of us as livestock. And
but we are livestock, though.
yeah, no doubt. And these people have, they've lost their humanity. They've gone to another realm. I mean, I'm not saying they're aliens. I'm just saying that they live in a different reality. They live in a different world. They have no, they may they sell you as they have empathy and they're generous and they care so much about you, but it has nothing to do with that. Nothing.
I look, this is the way I see it. And I'm gonna be, I think this is something that I've never said on my platform, right? But this is my problem. People now, and I know this is gonna sound controversial and messed up in every way, but in my life, in my 34 years of age, I used to believe up until I was 22 years old, I used to believe in the goodness of people, in the fact that we could go to people and we could talk to them about, you know, how they could contribute to a better society in small ways so that we could all move forward. However, I noticed that time after time, people were too lazy, too mediocre, or not interested in doing what was necessary to improve the lives of themselves and the collective as a result. So I started losing faith in humanity as conscious people. And I'm
Hey,
going to explain.
hey, you
Give
know,
me,
I'm with you. I agree with you. You know, I've
yeah.
lost that too, but we've lost.
So let me finish this. But
Yeah.
this is my thing.
Yeah.
The problem is that people should not be perceived as livestock. That's not right. However, if you behave like livestock,
Yes. There you
then
go.
how, if you value yourself like livestock, how do you think people that see themselves as human leaders and alpha people and that they can run things, how do you think they're going to see us as livestock? Because we see ourselves as because these people have no power. We empower what they say. You
Yeah.
get my point? So I don't see them as evil. I just see that they're greedy enough to take advantage of the systems that we empower to put them in that place.
But it's very unlikely that these people are coming up with the decisions that they're making. They're not coming up with these bills. You know, Joe Biden writes this bill, or so and so writes that bill. They didn't write them. They pulled it out of a shelf. Somebody gave it to them and said, "This is the bill."
Yeah, the corporations. This is all corporations. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
This is not. These politicians are not running the show. They're just
But
being fed.
historically speaking, if you look at the families that have run industries and what they've been able to accomplish and what their intentions are and what they put in their white papers and put out. I mean, it's happening. Like, this stuff isn't something that people just come up with and have these crazy ideas. These people come out and talk about what they want to do, what they plan on doing. I mean, it's in the Bible. It's almost like these people believe in the Bible so much that they're so arrogant. They're going to say, you know what? If someone's going to do this, it might as well be me, and I'm going to do it myself. And that's where we are right now. Is these people are psycho enough and narcissistic enough, to bring end times if they have the ability to do so.
To bring in what you said?
The end times, the mark of the beast, the world's,
But that's just a perspective from the religious. What about the rest of the country that doesn't believe in a God-centric religion?
it doesn't
Because the mark of the beast, you could be right in your own thinking.
The thing is, Denise, it doesn't matter what we believe. Like, these people are psychopaths. Like, these people truly believe, a lot of them, that they are connected with the evil side. Like, some of these people are serious Luciferians. Like, these people are out there, and I don't believe what they believe, but that doesn't mean that they don't.
No, I understand. Trust me, I understand your point. There is evil people out there that are pulling the strings. I understand that completely,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's coming from a religious standpoint, because a lot of people like to intertwine those two.
No, and it's not about ideology. These people aren't Republican or Democrats or communist.
Everything, yeah, anything. They could be
These people are
anything.
about power. These people are about complete and total power, nothing more.
Yeah. That's what they want. That's what they want, and it's out of greed, because power unfortunately gives people money, and that's what I said
People
with
have all the money. It's not about money for them.
No,
these
no, it's
these people
power. It's power. It's just power.
they want to wipe humanity off this earth. They want to destroy everything God created on this earth. I'm talking to the grasses, to the trees, and they want to create synthetic trees. They want to create their own cyber cities and patent everything. And you'll be, luckily to be in a pod,
I don't agree with you, but I'm gonna respect your perspective. Anyway, I'm gonna start wrapping this up because I never go over 2 hours. So I'm gonna let you, Patrick, have 2 minutes.
I'm good. I'm
So
good. I just
yeah,
thought,
share your perspective, your final thoughts, and then I'll move to Jose and then I'll close up. So final thoughts on today's show.
well, I think you did a good job. You're very cute, very attractive. Um,
Well, I'm married. My husband is on the chat. Be careful.
well, yeah, he looks good
Yeah,
too.
and yeah, she is my cyber daughter.
Oh, so
There you
look,
go.
another one.
I'm just playing. No, this is a global awakening. People are more questioning the official narrative more than ever, and that's good. We just got to know that they're not going to solve your problems. At some point in time, we've got to turn to our communities and try to go local. We've gone complete, total hyper globalization to where you taste your blueberries are cheaper coming from South Africa than they are from down the street. It just doesn't make sense. It's not sustainable. Everything that's going on right now is not sustainable. It is going to break, but just don't fall for the scapegoat for whoever they planted on. This is baked into the cake. It's going to happen. We just need to pull together as a community, and we'll get through this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna then thank you, Patrick, for joining and joining Latin Explaining for the first time. Hope to see you around on our next one. Make sure that you subscribe and you like this video also, and share it with your friends and family so they can also join the Latin Explainer family. I'm gonna move you out now. So thank you very much. Now, Jose, final thoughts.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for allowing me to be on your platform. The fact of the matter is, you've been sorely missed, but we all know, well, I know and I understand why. Um, I just want people, whether it be like myself, who's pro life or pro choice. I mean, just to think about this rationally. And the fact of the matter is, we all need to take accountability with our actions, and we need to look at things logically and rationally, and not be so much like sheep. Of course, I got to plug my channel a little bit. I have for those of you who do not, I have a platform called Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And in fact, I'm going to be doing a short video tomorrow regarding teleworking. Is it a blessing or a curse? And I have a stream that's calling on every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I guess you please check my channel. And thank you very much, Denise. And I'm going to close the same way I always close. Do not let the errors of the past damage your future. And we must do everything possible to minimize our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged, because as you can see, it's continued to expand increasingly. Because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by the stupidity and we will become like zombies.
Thank you so much, Jose. I'm not gonna have a backstage today, so I'm gonna move you
Okay,
out.
so when are we going to have a chance to talk? Because I do have some things to share.
I'll let you know. Through Instagram. Okay. So
Okay,
I'm
no problem.
gonna. Okay. Take care. So now
You too.
I'm
Bye.
going to move to closing this show. Okay. Oh my God, guys! This week we're going to talk so much about these polarities that we're seeing not only on the political aspect but also between the gender war. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to have a very, very special night, on a night that I will usually zone out at 7 p.m. and watch a Kevin Samuels live stream. I think I took my time because I don't know. I felt weird. I wanted to not be true to a degree. I don't know. It's so weird that he's not here. Um, but tomorrow, if you were a Kevin Samuels fan, if you don't know who Kevin Samuels is, if you want to join me in the conversation, I'm not gonna have necessarily an open panel. I'm gonna try, but I don't know because I don't want craziness. Uh, but I'm going to have, like I said, I'm going to put in the description below my show called The Last Samurai, which was about what Kevin Samuels represented, in my opinion, for us women, which was our last resort. So I'm going to have a part two of The Last Samurai tomorrow to honor the memory and the achievements of a man that changed many lives for the better, and is known as the image consultant, relationship connoisseur, Kevin Samuels. So I see that MK already says, if you guys don't know who he is, then don't get up here saying any and everything. Absolutely. So make sure that you take your time tomorrow uh, to actually tune in. Is going to be a very peaceful thing. Please don't bring anything off topic. It's going to be completely dedicated to Mr. Samuels. I think it's my only way to give tribute to him. Other than that, guys, this week, like I said, it's going to bring a lot of things that we want to discuss. But before I go, I wanted to share something extremely funny for you, since we were talking about and I want to say goodbye with this one because I want to say goodbye with something funny, right? You guys know that we have seen from Kanye West GC's collection to many things, we've seen how the distressed look has become part of our day-to-day life. Well, Balenciaga was not staying behind on this trend, and they just launched their limited collection called Distressed Sneakers, and they start for $1,150. You could get this new Balenciaga distressed sneakers for this summer. So I am not kidding you guys. Go to the Balenciaga to the Balenciaga website. You definitely are going to see these things. It's hilarious as hell. Like I said, the sneakers are going for $1,800. So definitely, guys, that's something that was super hilarious to me. Would you be getting the new limited collection of distressed sneakers by Balenciaga? Let me know in the comment section, guys. This has been all for today, and I am so happy that I got to share with you guys this amazing topic and my take on Roe versus Wade and the Supreme Court drama, because I know it's been a long time since I've done so. So, guys, I appreciate that you stayed with me through 2 hours and a half as you normally do. Thank you very much. I appreciate to all Latin explainers for allowing me into your homes and your devices. And like I said, shout out to all the people that are tuning in from Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts from not only the United States, but also Russia, Germany, the UK, Australia, Ireland. I appreciate all of you guys for doing this, and thank you very much for giving me your time. Till the next one, guys. Bye.